Hare Krishna, everyone. So today we start with chapter 4, Jnana Yoga, Yoga of Knowledge. Yesterday we, in the last verse of third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what was it? Last verse, it was Evam Buddhe Param Buddhva Sanstabhyatmanam Atmana Jai Shatrum Mahabhaho Amarupam Durasadam. That was the last shloka of last chapter, where we had discussed about that our material bondage is due to hankering and lust because of lot of desire, longing, right? We want everything here. But actually we are very pure souls, but we have fallen into this material bondage. We have fallen into this threefold miseries of material existence. And the whole of Bhagavad Gita, it is telling us how to get out of this material entanglement and go and connect to God. Now, if you're called to fight with your enemies, you're ready, right? But if somebody says you go fight with your own son, own daughter, own wife, own husband, then you will hesitate for a while. It's quite natural for us. Same thing happened with Arjuna. He was placed in a position where he was thinking, I have to fight with my own relatives. So he was very confused. But Krishna says, it's not the question. When the question of fighting comes, you are a Kshatriya. It doesn't matter who is on the opposite side. You are a Kshatriya. You have to, it is your duty to fight. Arjuna is not very satisfied with such arguments. He declined to fight and he surrendered to Krishna. So before they were talking like friends, then later when he became very serious, he surrendered. He surrendered and Krishna became the spiritual guru for him. So whatever instructions Krishna will give, that will be definitely perfect. That's what Arjuna feels. So today we'll begin with fourth chapter, Jnana Yoga. And the fundamental goal of Jnana Yoga is to become liberated from this world of Maya, illusionary world of Maya, right? So we will be covering about history of Bhagavad Gita, why Krishna chose Arjuna to deliver the science of Bhagavad Gita, when, why, and how does Krishna appear, and four divisions of human society. So yesterday's we'll do a quick overview. We came to understand that the biggest challenge was love and lust, and where to find this love and lust. It is in the senses. We have to regulate it. In the mind, we have to do chanting, and the intelligence with spiritual knowledge, we can get rid of it. There are degrees of covering of lust. So fire covered by smoke, mirror covered by dust, embryo covered in womb. Yesterday we learned about renunciation. We have to detach ourselves, right? And then real way of developing attachment is to satisfy Vishnu. Third was the yoga ladder. We spoke about sinful, sinless options, how materialistic people live, karma kanda and karma yoga, which is two types, sakam karma and nishkam karma. So, and the fourth one was how to live an exemplary lifestyle. We should be role models to our own kids. Otherwise, there's no point. So today's chapter will start. Why are we giving so much stress on Bhagavad Gita? There are so many books available in the market, right? Full of instructions, good instructions. But why are we giving so much stress to Bhagavad Gita then? Because it is spoken by a personality who is above all imperfection. He is not perfect at all. We are imperfect. He is perfect being. So what are these imperfections that we have? You can type your thoughts in the chat box if you can. Lust. Okay. Komal Mataji, Komal Prabhuji, lust, senses. Rishi Prabhuji, lust, anger, feet, anger. Alpasha Mataji, anger, greed, ego, iPhone, jealousy. Sorry. Sayatan's Pavitra Mataji, selfish. Kirti Nayak, attachments and expectations. Komal Prabhuji, we strive for material name. Sucheta Mata, avarice, greed. Okay. Expectations. Shibani Mataji, weak-willed. Athens, iPhone. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Senses. Rohit Nath Prabhuji, lack of control. Viraj Prabhuji, lust, anger, fear, attachment. Okay. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Can you make me ghost, Mataji?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay. So, yes, the thing is, What are these imperfections that we have? We have the imperfections are C, I, C, I. I keep telling my students to remember like this. C is like we commit mistakes. The imperfection that we have, we commit mistakes. We are imperfect. We do make mistakes, right? God does not make mistakes. There is nobody in this world in conditioned state who can say, I have never committed any mistake in my life. We have that. Next is illusion. It's the next imperfection. It is to accept something in place of something. For example, like we accept that this body as myself, which we are not. We are not the body, we are the soul. So this is illusion. And another example that we can think of is just like in darkness, you can find some curling rope. You're afraid. You think it's a snake, but actually that's not a snake. It's an illusion, right? So that means accepting the curling rope as a snake is an illusion. It's an example of illusion. Another C comes as cheating propensity that we have. Third imperfection that we have. Everyone thinks himself to be very clever. He thinks he can cheat others. I'm so clever, I can cheat him. For example, he will, let's take the case of a shopkeeper and a customer. The shopkeeper thinks, I'm giving him all nonsense things and making all the profit. And customer is thinking, oh, I'm getting it so cheap. This is going on, even in ordinary dealings also. And we have imperfect senses. I for imperfect senses. Our senses are really blunt. The eyes, it is seeing under certain condition. We don't have those eyes. As soon as we put off this light, we cannot see anything. So Srila Prabhupada he explains in his purport, So it was explained by Krishna to Arjuna that the most formidable enemy, that is lust, it is sitting in three places, where mind, intelligence, and our senses. So we have to deal with them very tactfully. How to deal with it? You have to replace the enemy lust with Krishna consciousness. Just like, for example, we have got a glass of water here. Okay. So I want to fill this glass of water with milk. Suppose I want to fill this glass of water with milk. What will I do? What can I do with it? I have to throw the water. Yes. I have to throw the water and then take the milk, right? I can't just put milk in it. Similarly, if your mind is occupied by lust of enjoying this material world, what do you have to do? You have to throw it away and replace Krishna on your mind. You will find that the enemy lust, which is occupying your very important strategic position of mind, it will be defeated. What does Krishna say then? So you remember CI, the imperfections that we have. What is CI? Anybody remembers now? Let's see the memory power. Anyone?
Common mistake.
Okay.
Commit mistake.
Yes.
Illusion. Cheating.
And imperfect sense.
Imperfect senses.
Very nice. Very good. You're paying attention. Good students. History of Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manurikshva Kave Bravit. The blessed Lord said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to son God Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ishvaku. So Krishna is saying, long time ago, I told this science of yoga to Vivasvan. It was first spoken by Krishna to Vivasvan. How 120 million years ago. Vivasvan means who? Surya, sun god. The name of sun god is Vivasvan. Then he says, Vivasvan Manave Praha. Vivasvan told Manu. He again repeated the same thing to his son, Manu. Who is Manu? Who is Manu? The father of the human mankind. Vivasvan Manave Praha Manurikshvaka Bravit. So Manu told Ishvaku. Manu told to his disciple. His disciple's name was Ishvaku. Who was Ishvaku? Maharaj Ishvaku was a very great king. He was forefather of Ramchandra, Sri Ramchandra. So you can imagine how old Bhagavad Gita is. Sun is the king of all the planets, right? And sun god, at present the name is Vivasvan. He rules the sun planet. and it is controlling the other planets by supplying heat and light. So Lord Krishna first originally told Vivaswan, his first disciple, to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita. So Gita is a real standard book. It is coming down from eternal, it's eternal education coming down from time immemorial. Evam
Mataji, sorry
parampara.
to disturb you. Mataji, sorry to disturb you. I was on the other link for the recitation, but I got the link now, so I joined.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I
Hare Krishna.
recited because it was getting late, right?
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yoga nashta parantapa. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. So sakale neha mahata. It is very old, right? In course of time, what happened? It got broken. Now, Krishna says, instruction which he gave to sun god was coming through disciplic succession. Now it's lost. So now we have to note down this point. What does it mean, lost? Srila Prabhupada explains in one of his lectures. Why it is lost? Do you think there was no learned men during that time? No, that was not the case. There were so many, right? Not one, too many. But still Lord says, Krishna says that knowledge I exactly imparted to sun god was lost. How it is lost? Sakale neha mata yogo nashtaf parantapa. It got nasht, means lost. Here, the lost here means the purport, the meaning, the explanation. The shloka was not lost. The meaning was lost. Because scholars, many scholars came, they started interpreting in their own way about Bhagavad Gita. That's not Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the purport what Krishna wants to stress. So any student of Bhagavad Gita must note that Bhagavad Gita has to be accepted in disciplic succession. As Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, it is coming down by disciplic succession, not any other way. So you can see the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya here, the whole of Sampradaya over here. We must follow the footsteps of those who are pure souls. Arjuna here is advised, to act in Krishna consciousness, to follow the previous disciples like sun god, Vivaswan, right? Evam kyatva kritam karma purvai frapimu mokshabhi kuru karma eva tasmatvam purvai purva taram kritam. He says in 4.15 also. Srila Prabhupada explains here. Sa evayam maya tedya yoga nashta what was it? Yoga prokta puratana. It is very old. Arjuna, I am trying to speak to you about that old system of Bhagavad Gita and yoga. That's the old system. So he's thinking, why are you telling me? Why me? Arjuna thinks. So it is because he says there were so many other scholars like Vyasadeva and all those. So why me? I'm a family man. I'm a military man. I just know how to fight. I know simply fighting. So you want to tell me Bhagavad Gita? I'm not. I'm just an ordinary man. Why me? So here Krishna replies, Bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam yeta uttamam. Because Arjuna, I am telling you this Bhagavad Gita because you are uttam, means top. And Bhakto sime, you are real devotee. Bhakto sime sakha cheti, you are devotee and my friend. And rahasyam yeta uttamam, this uttam, this topmost secret, I'm going to share with you because you have exceptional qualification. You are really a great devotee. You have surrendered yourself unto me. So we have to understand over here. If we surrender ourselves to Lord Krishna, you see, you will notice what all wonders is going to happen. Everybody, you can see that. Nobody can understand Bhagavad Gita unless and until we are a devotee of Krishna. That is the first qualification we need. It is very clearly said over here. So in this, Madhvacharya was chosen by Brahma. You can see Lord Krishna, he gave to Brahma, Sri Lakshmi, Lord Shiva, and 4 Kumaras. That's how the parampara started. So Madhvacharya was chosen by Brahma. Ramanujacharya was chosen by goddess Lakshmi to represent her Sampradaya. Vishnu Swami was chosen by Rudra over here. You can see Lord Shiva and then Vishnu Swami over here. And Nimba Aditya was chosen by the 4 Kumaras. You can see that in the picture over there, right? But how? Arjuna is still confused. Arjuna is asking, but how? You are my contemporary. Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivasvatah, katame tatvijaniyam, vamadau proktavaniti. Arjuna asked, how did you teach sun god Vivaswan? The sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? So the fact is that Arjuna is not inquiring for himself. For those who do not believe in Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is a devotee of Krishna. So he is above all kinds of misunderstanding as such. So Krishna says, many, many births before, both you and I have passed, so many lives we have taken. I can remember everything, but Arjuna, you cannot. Shri Bhagavanuvacha bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vedha parantapa. So he says, I can remember, but you cannot remember. Bahuni me vyatitani, lot of lives have passed. Janmani tava charjuna, many, many jans have gone, lives have gone. Tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vedha parantapa. You cannot remember those, but I can, right? He can remember all the lives. So what does Brahma say about Lord Krishna in his form? He says, Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Atma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Says he is very old. He looks like Nava Yovanam. Nava means new. Yovanam means very young. He still looks very young. He says, I worship that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is absolute, who is infallible, who's having no beginning, no end, He is same, he is original, he is very, very old. He is the oldest, but he always appears like a fresh youth, right? So devotees like Krishna and all, they're constant companions of Lord. So whenever Lord will take incarnation, these associate devotees always come with him. He comes down with the full team. So Arjuna is one of those devotees, and in this verse, it is understood that some millions of years ago, when Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to sun god, then Arjuna must have been there in different capacity. But the only difference is Arjuna does not remember his past life, but Lord remembers, because he is Satchid Ananda Vigraha, right? He's Advaita, which means there is no distinction between his body and himself. So that is the difference between us and even Krishna, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are just a living entity. We don't remember anything. So Arjuna here is addressed by mighty hero Parantapa. Natvam Veta Parantapa means who can subdue enemy. He can subdue enemies, but he is unable to recall what happened in the past births. Krishna is eternal. He is unborn. He is Govindam Adi Purusha. Brahma keeps on praising him in Sri Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anade Adi Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam Venum Konantam Aravinda Dayalataksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. He keeps praising him because he is Satchit Ananda Vigraha. He worships him. He says, you have such beautiful eyes, such nicely you played your flute, you have peacock feathers on your head. You are so charming. Millions of cupids also will be, you are so unique. They are nothing in front of you. He keeps praising Krishna. This is the life of Brahma, as you can see. You will get it in PDF form, so I won't go very much deep into it. As you can see in the picture, Kali Yuga, 4,32,000 years. Then came the Dwapar Yuga, which is double of Kali Yuga. 3 times of Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga, and 4 times of Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga. Then these 4 yugas called Divya Yuga. Such 71 Divya Yugas becomes one Manvantara. Then 14 Manvantras and 15 Sandhyas become Kalpa. Kalpa means a day of Brahma, and the life of Brahma is 311.04 trillion years. You can see that. So it will be shared with you, so you can go in detail. So this is the life of Brahma. Brahma has already passed 50 years. His life is 100 years. 50 years are gone. You can see the life of Brahma is this many trillion years. Then you can see the life of Manu, the father of mankind. You can see his life also. His life has already been this many million years. So accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord to his disciple sun god Vivaswan. You can imagine Gita was spoken 120 million years ago to Vivaswan. So long time back. So Gita came on earth. When did Gita come on earth? 2 million years ago. So you can imagine, because it was spoken to his disciple Maharaj Ishwaku, the king, who was from Raghu dynasty, in which Lord Ramchandra appeared, right? So therefore, Bhagavad Gita existed in that human society from the time of Maharaj Ishwaku. So you can imagine that also. Can you all see the screen? Hare Krishna. Okay.
Yes.
This is one day of Brahma, this many years. 1 hour of Brahma, 1 minute of Brahma, 600,000 years, and 1 second of Brahma is 100,000 years of this material life. So you can imagine where we are living. This is material world, that's spiritual world. So how does Krishna appear? Ajopi sannavyayatma bhutanamishwaropi san prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavam yatma mayaya. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. He comes, he is unborn, he is transcendental, his body never deteriorates. Why? Because he doesn't have material body, right? Even at the time of battle of Kurukshetra, he had so many grandchildren at home. He actually, in material calculation, if you see, he had sufficiently aged also, but he still looked like a very young man of say 20, 25 maybe. So Brahma also, as I told you before also, Brahma keeps praising him in Brahma Samhita. Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam. You will never see a picture of Krishna in old age. Anywhere you see, you will never see a old age picture of Krishna. He never grows old like us. He is the oldest person in this whole creation, past, present, and future. Right? Anybody who can tell me who are these two in the picture? Who are these two? Who can tell me? You can type in the chat box if you want, or you can unmute yourself and tell. Yes.
Vasudev and Devaki.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Vasudev and Devaki. Even in chat box, Pavitra Mataji. Very nice. Very nicely written. Devaki and Vasudev. Very nice. Yes. They both, came. Lord appeared in Chaturbhuja Rupa before he came as Krishna. So Lord had spoken about the peculiarity of his birth also. He may appear like an ordinary person, but he remembers everything of many past births also, right? We common men, we cannot even remember what we had done few hours back also. You ask someone, what exactly did you do? Same time, same moment, last 1 day earlier. Very difficult for a common person to answer that immediately, right? We have to go and dredge through this whole memory and try to recall what exactly we were doing that time, 1 day before. And you can see so many men, they yet dare to claim that I am God. Okay, so let's see. When does the Lord appear? When does he come on this earth? Why does he come? And what happens by gaining this knowledge? What is it all about? Who can tell me? You can chat you can type it in your chat box. When does he come? Yes. Anyone? When does Krishna come on this earth? Why? And why does he come? When irreligion, Komal Prabhuji, very good. To establish Dharma, Pavitra Mataji, excellent. Komal Prabhuji, takes place when irreligion takes place. Yes. Anyone else? Anything else? To teach people Dharma, Ronak Prabhuji, very good. iPhone, to remove evils. Very good. To show the path of religion. Very good. Kirti Mataji, when there is adharma, excellent. Abhilasha Mataji, yada yada. Yes, yes, yes. That's where we are going to go next shloka. Very good. When does he appear? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So when does he appear? Although the Lord appears on schedule, namely, usually it's written that Dwapar Yuga, 28th millennium of 7th Manu, in one day of Brahma he comes. But anyway, he does not have any obligation to adhere to any such rules and regulations because he's completely free to act in any way according to his will. So he therefore appears by his own will whenever he feels that there is a lot of irreligion going on and there is a disappearance of true religion. So he comes. It's up to his will. So the whole purpose, the whole mission of incarnation is what? To arouse the Krishna consciousness everywhere, right? So what do you see in this picture? What is happening? Anyone who can tell? I can unmute you if you raise your hand. In case you want to raise your hand, you can raise your hand. If it's what is happening in this picture over here? Anyone? Yes, Komal Prabhuji, yes. Yes, Shubhani Mitra.
Oh,
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is how Sri Bhagwan Krishna ji is protecting women folk from people who are trying to harass them, men who are trying to harass them.
Anyone else wants to say something?
Yeah. This is Kamsa. Kamsan.
Kamsa, what is he
Kamsa
doing?
attacking Devaki. Devaki.
Yes, very nice, very nice. Yes, yes. Thank you, Shubhani Mataji and Vijayam Mataji. Thank you so much. Yes, in this picture, he is Kamsa. And after marriage, Devaki and Vasudev, they were coming back. Then Kamsa hears the Akashwani, from the sky. It says that her 8th child will kill you. And then he gets very angry and he wants to kill his sister. But Vasudev stops him and says, don't kill. Why are you killing her? It's the baby. Right? So when the baby arrives, you can always kill him, but don't kill Devaki. This is that picture. Such kind of cruelty Kamsa did, and Krishna had to come, right? Why does Krishna appear? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In order to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I went myself millennium after millennium. Krishna says he had many agents. He has so many people who are very, 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 very competent enough to come and defeat the demons, vanquish the demons. But Lord especially comes down for his unalloyed devotees. He comes down for his devotees who are always harassed by demonical people, So these demons, they harass the devotees, even though the devotee may happen to be his own relative, right? Any example anybody can give? You can raise your hand. Sandhya Mataji, you can ask. Yes, Komal Prabhuji, you have something to say?
Mataji, Ramayan, one of
Yeah.
the example.
No, the example where demon harassed the devotee. Who harassed whom? Yes, Shubhani Mataji.
Prahlad Maharaj was harassed by his father,
Very
Hiranyaksha.
nice, very nice. Thank you, Shubhani Mataji. Thank you, very
Hare
nice.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So yes, Prahlad Maharaj was the son of Hiranyakashipu, right? His father mistreated him, and Devaki was mistreated by Kamsa. So Devaki was Krishna's devotee. So Krishna appeared for Devaki also. Rather than killing Kamsa, he came to save Devaki also, right? So both were performed, of course, simultaneously. He killed Kamsa also and he saved Devaki also. But it is in this verse, it is said that he comes to deliver the devotee and vanquish the demons, right? Miscreants, because Lord appears in different incarnations. What is the benefit of knowing Krishna? Why should we? What is the point of knowing Krishna? Anyone? You can chat. Exploitation, Prahlad, Rohit, Prabhuji. Very nice. Thank you. Anyone else? What is the use of knowing Krishna to understand the meaning of life? Komal Prabhuji. Very active participant of this group to understand the meaning of life. Okay. Then anybody else? Yes. What is the benefit of knowing Krishna? Let's see. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So Krishna says, once you know about me, then you don't enter another mother's womb. So what is that? That's like breaking the cycle of birth and death. So once the moment you understand, you know about Krishna, you will not enter another mother's womb. So one who can understand this truth about the appearance of Krishna, he is already liberated from this cycle of birth and death. He will return to Krishna's world, Golok Vrindavan, right? Immediately after quitting this material body. And it is really not so easy. Yogis also kind of attain liberation, and they take so many births, and after many trouble and many births, they find liberation. They merge into this impersonal Brahman, Brahmajyoti, right? But that is only partial. There is always a risk of coming back to this material world. But the devotee who is in complete Krishna consciousness, he will attain Lord's abode for sure after ending this body. And then he will not have that risk of coming back to this world. So what is the benefit of knowing Krishna in chapter 13 also? It says, Indriya artheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam janma mrityu jara vyadhi. We have these four in this material world. Jan means birth, mrityu means death, jara means disease, vyadhi. Vyadhi means disease, jara is death, like all old age, sorry. So in this material world, we have all this, but that is not there in Krishna's abode. That is spiritual world. So which is better? Material world where we have to go to Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, or spiritual world where we will be living, we don't have any problems such. There is no old age sickness, no birth, no death. Everything is beautiful, intact. Person will be very happy, keep doing seva to Bhagwan. So what is the difference between we and Krishna? Let's see. The difference between Krishna and us. Who can tell us? What is the difference between Krishna and us? Prerna Mataji, we receive a friendship for all lifetimes of our soul, and we never go astray on the path of adharma. Nice. Alpa Mataji, moksha. What is the difference between Krishna and us? Anyone? You can type in the chat box. It's not attached with anything. Okay, Komal Prabhuji. Next. We have gross body. Alpa Mataji. Yes. Okay. Yes. Very nice. We have gross body. That's perfectly right. Yes. Anybody else would like to?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sri Krishna is, he has a very good memory. He remembers everything.
Yes.
From many yugas, many births, he remembers everything, which we cannot remember.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Kirti Mataji.
Madam, I have heard Krishna was Sola Kala Sampanna.
Yeah, definitely. He has all the opulences. Yes, correct. Very nice. Thank you so much. Yes, very good. Very nice answers. Krishna's form is spiritual. Our form is very temporary, right? He's spiritual. We are controlled by Maya. You can see in the picture. We are controlled by these three material modes of Maya. Krishna is controller. You can see the Krishna on top of them. Krishna is controller of Maya. We are controlled by Maya, right? So what is the difference between our body and Krishna's body? Krishna's body is transcendental and original, while we have a gross body, like Mataji very nicely told, that gross and body, and that gross and subtle body, it is covering the soul. So Krishna's body is transcendental, our bodies is perishable. Krishna is known as Govinda. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is eternal. He is origin. Like other Mataji just said, he has a memory which we don't, right? Like even Brahma said, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarvakarana Kar. He is the causes of all causes. Sarvakarana Karanam. Right? So just because something is invisible does not mean that we can't know it exists. Like the subtle body, like our mind, our intelligent ego. Can you see that? No, it's invisible, but we know that it is there. Right? We have two kinds of bodies: a gross body made up of earth, water, air, fire, ether, and etc. Right? And we have a subtle body of mind, intelligence, and false ego. But we can see this body, but we cannot see the mind, intelligence, and ego. But that does that mean that we don't have intelligence, we don't have mind, we cannot see it, but it is there, right? Yeah. Same way, we cannot see the soul, but we know it is there. Soul is covered. It is covered by subtle and gross body, right? What is known as death? Death is the annihilation of this gross body. Subtle body remains. It carries the soul to a place where it can again grow in another material body, right? Just for, to fulfill the desires of the mind. God is always young. He is permanent. We are temporary. He is spiritual. We are not. He is, he controls the three modes of material nature. We are controlled by them. Right now, we are studying Bhagavad Gita over here in this class. So we are in Sattva mode, Sattva Guna mode, three gunas, Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. Right now, we are in Sattva Guna mode because we are studying Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let's see why Krishna appears. What are the three reasons for the appearance of Krishna? Anybody? Please, you can type. When irreligion is high, Rishi Prabhuji, Krishna is supreme, we are minute part and parcel of Krishna, Shri Priya Mataji. Yes. When irreligion is high, yes. What are the three reasons? Yes. Establish dharma. Very good. Appa Mataji. Very nice. Thank you. So let's see the three reasons. Three reasons is to protect his devotees, to destroy the demons, to re-establish the principles of religion. So these are the three reasons why he appears. Has anybody in history able to know Krishna? Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa uta madbhava magataha. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, taking refuge in me. Many persons in the past became purified by the knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. It's very difficult for a person who's too materially attached to everything over here to understand who Krishna is, right? Krishna says in chapter 7, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva samiti samaha vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. He says that after many births and deaths also, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing that I am the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. Such great soul, very rare to find, very rare to find, because we are so attached to all this. We do not even give attention to spiritual life, right? Some of them want to merge into some spiritual cause. Some of them do not even believe in anything. They are very angry for some reason or the other. They are very angry and out of hopelessness, out of misery, God knows what, but they're very angry. But when we reach the prema stage, the love stage, love for Krishna all the time, there is constant engagement in transcendental loving service of God. We're always thinking about God, loving God. What can I do for God? But by slow process of devotional service, slowly under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, we can attain the highest stage. Mad bhavam agataha. Our human form of life is meant to go back to Krishna, back to Godhead, right? For example, I can take my example. I'm traveling all over the world. Recently, I've been traveling a lot. But where is my native place? My native country is India. But I've been going to so many countries, Europe, America, now I'm in Thailand, but my native home is India, right? So similarly, we are also part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta. Krishna says, Mamai Vamsho, you are my Ansha, you are my part. All these living entities, you are my part and parcel, he says. This is not your home. This earth, this material world is not your home. You are traveling. And you are wandering in these foreign countries. Once we understand that, that is the knowledge we need to get. Jnana Yoga. That is the knowledge we need to understand, that we are traveling here in this. Like I have been traveling to America, Europe, and all these countries, and I'm now in Thailand, but I know my country is India. I have to reach there. So similarly, this is not our country. This material world is not, right? We have to get away from all this, from attachment, fear, anger. We have to take complete shelter of Lord. Ultimate aim is to attain supreme abode, Goloka Vrindavan, right? So what happens if we surrender to God? Krishna removes all the misconception. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartman vartante manushya partha sarvashah. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. So he says, the moment you surrender unto me, I will take care of you. In all respects, in every way, I will take care of you. We need to have that bhakti, that devotion, that shraddha, that faith, prem, that love. You cannot be rude. If you are rude, will anybody listen to you? If you are rude these days, even kids don't listen, right? You cannot be rude to anyone. Look at the picture, the first one. What can you see? Love binds, love binds the Lord. Lord is bound by the love. So you can see in first picture, how cows love for the Lord. See, lying down at the feet. Second picture, you can see how Lord is loving the cow. So whatever you do, I reward accordingly, he says. In picture 3, you can see he's serving the Lord. And pic 4, you can see Krishna is serving his friend, right? So whatever you do, he says very clearly, I will reward you accordingly. The way you behave, I do accordingly. So Krishna reciprocates to his pure devotees in transcendental attitude, just as devotee wants him. If one devotee wants Krishna to be supreme master, some can want him to be a personal friend, some may see him as a son, Vatsalya, some may see him as a lover. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally, according to their different intensity of love. What intensity of love you have for him, that's how he rewards you. So next shloka, he says, Kanshantah karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devata shipram himanushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. So what happens is there is a great misconception about gods and demigods in this material world. Actually, demigods are not different from different forms of God. They are God's different parts and parcel. They are Sri Krishna's limbs, arms, legs. These devatas are all his arms and legs. However, people, Kritagnyana means these people who don't understand, they worship demigods. They want immediate results, very quick results. Devatas, they do give quick results. They do get results, but they do not understand, they do not know that these results are temporary. We will learn more about the same issue in chapter 7 also. The demigods do give us boons. They come, but these are material, they are temporary. They are after sense enjoyment. They are mostly interested in material enjoyment. So people worship demigods, right? So you worship demigods, you get what you want, but it is temporary. After a while, gone. Then what? Can anybody give any example who worshipped the demigods and got some boon? Hare Krishna, you can chat you can type in the chat box. Anybody remembers any example who prayed to demigod to get lot of power? Some demon? Bhasmasur. Okay. Yes. Ravana, yes, Pavitra Mataji. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Purnima Mataji, Mahishasura, iPhone, Ravana. Thank you so much. Right. Hiranyakashipu also. He worshipped Brahma to get boon, but he was very selfish, very cruel, right? With attitude, lot of attitude. Ravana, as very nicely said by devotees over here in chat box, he too worshipped Lord Shiva, right? Got lot of ahankara, lot of pride. Became very proud of his power, right? If we would have worshipped Krishna, would he have got the same fruit, same result? So do good, get immediate benefit from demigods. Complete surrender to God, then you go to Golok Dham, you don't even have to come back over here, right? Supreme God, Krishna, and demigods. Supreme God is one. Krishna and demigods are, these demigods, Krishna delegates them the power to manage this material world. So the intelligent person who is very intelligent, he will directly worship Krishna and he will be in Krishna consciousness. He has no need to worship any demigods for some immediate temporary benefits, right? So in this verse, it indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They're mostly interested in material enjoyment, and therefore they will worship some demigod, some powerful entity, worship somebody and then get immediate result. Nothing wrong, but you can't go to Golok Dham if you want to. So now, next shloka. Chaturvarnyam maya sishtam gunakarma vibhagashah tasya kartaramapi mam vidya kartaram avyayam. According to the three modes of material nature and the work is ascribed to them, 4 divisions of human society were created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer being, unchangeable. He said he has created this. What are varnas? Does anyone know? Different. There are 4. Who can tell? You can type. There are 4 varnashrams. Anybody who can tell? 4 caste system.
Brahman, Kshatriya,
yes.
Vaishya, Shudra.
Yes, very nice, very nice. So, very nice. Thank you, Mataji. And thank you, Alpa Mataji. Thank you for typing. Then Prerna Mataji, thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Lakshmi Mataji also, thank you. We gave all perfect answers, all great devotees here. So Brahman is the priesthood, Kshatriya, the soldiers, Vaishyas, business people, Shudras, labor class, right? But if a person is born in Brahman caste, suppose, for example, and he eats meat, he's not a Brahmin. And if a Shudra does his work very sincerely, doesn't cheat, then he's a Brahmin. So Lord, he is the creator of everything. Everything is born of him. Everything is sustained by him. And everything after annihilation, after killing everyone, everything rests in him. He is the creator of all the division, all the 4 divisions of social order, right? Beginning with intelligent class, technically called Brahmanas, due to their being situated in mode of goodness, supposed to be. Next is administrative class, like Kshatriya, who are supposed to fight, right? They are in mode of passion. And mercantile men called Vaishyas, they are situated having mixed mode, passion and ignorance. And Shudras, the laborer class, they are in the mode of ignorance. So in spite of creating these 4 divisions of human society, Krishna does not belong to any one division. He says, because he is not a conditioned soul, right? He is not having material body. So he is removing this misconception. He says, there is no caste system. It is because of your guna. If your guna is good, if you are in mode of goodness, even if you are a Shudra, you are a Brahmana. Mode of goodness has to be, goodness has to be in you. You are a Brahmana, but you are in mode of ignorance, you are a Shudra. So caste system is not by birth. It is by your guna, mode of nature. So what is the life lesson that we learn from here in this, when we see the caste system and all? Even accordingly, career also, when you say career, choose your career in life based on your guna. What kind of guna you have? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. What kind of guna do you have? You choose your career and life according to your guna and karma. What kind of karma you are doing, not because of external factors. By birth, I am a Brahmana, so I have to be a priest. By birth, I am a Kshatriya, so I have to go into the battlefield and become a... No need. What kind of guna you have inside, find out. That way you will excel in that field you choose, whatever field you choose. So determination of caste by birth, it is disapproved by in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna completely disapproves. He says, birth does not state that you are good. If your mode of goodness will tell you that you are good, you are a Brahmana or not. Namam karmani limpanti, name karma phale spruha, iti mam yo bijanati, karma birna sabadhyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruit of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in fruitive reactions of work. Similarly, king also, see, king is not subjected to the state laws. He remains above the state law. Similarly, Lord also, he has created this world, material world, but he is not affected by the activities of the material world, whatever we are doing. Just to give an example, like a judge who is sitting on the chair. Judge is sitting, right? So he's sitting on the judge chair, he's giving his verdict, he's giving his judgment. He is not subjected to the sentence he is going to state. It does not apply to him, but to the person who is there, standing there, guilty, or the offender. It applies to that offender. The judge is not applied to that sentence, right? Whatever he states. Same way, Krishna creates this material world, but remains aloof from the creation, right? Living entities are entangled in this. Because of the karma that we are doing, we keep remaining in this material world over and over and over again, because we are running after these material things. The owner of a factory, for example, he is not responsible for the personal wrong and right activities that a worker does in his free time. How can he be responsible for what a worker doing in his personal time, right? He will not, he is not responsible for that. The Lord, the Krishna, being in having full 6 opulences, he has no attraction for this heavenly happiness, the heavenly demigods or whatever these people are doing. He is not, he is having everything he is having. Why does he get attracted? We don't have, so we get attracted to all this. Krishna has everything, so he is not attracted to any of this, right? So we have to be very careful. We have to fix our mind towards the Krishna and make sure that we go to Golok Dhama. You can see in picture number 1, who is he? Who can tell? You may unmute yourself if you want to. First picture. Yes, Shibani Mataji.
Sudama.
Sudama, very nice. Second
Sudama.
picture. Second picture.
This is Balaram.
In the you can see the beard, white beard.
Balaram and with
Bhishma and Krishna. Bhishma wanted to see Krishna in form of a warrior, so he saw that. Number 3. Anyone? That's Lord Krishna's pastime, right? He becomes a cowherd for gopis. And number 4? Anyone?
Parthasarathi means Lord Krishna is Arjuna's.
Yes. He became Arjuna's
Sarathi.
charioteer. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So he became Arjuna's charioteer. He does anything for his devotees, right? Mahalakshmi Mataji, Arjuna and Krishna. Yeah, charioteer, Dr. Lakshmi Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much for your input. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so now you can see. This is the first picture is demigod. We worship demigod. Second is Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. Then Paramatma, which is in our soul, right? The super soul in us. And Bhagavan, Krishna. So Krishna removes this misconception. Brahman is what? Brahman is Sat, eternality. Paramatma is Sat and Chit, eternality and knowledge. And Bhagavan is all 3. Sat, Chit, Ananda. So Sat is eternality, Chit is knowledge, and Ananda is bliss. So the life lesson here that we are learning is different flights. There are so many different flights going. See, here in the picture, you can see different flights, right? Different flights go to different destinations. You have to decide where you want to go. And then you buy the ticket appropriately. You decide if you want to go here, if you want to go here, here, where you want to go, you decide. and then you buy the ticket. That's the life lesson we learn. Then कर्मणो यपि बोधव्यं बोधव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोधव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. So this is like karma. Karma is what the first picture here. What is he doing? He is doing his job, right? So in the first picture, he is doing his karma. So performing the duty. It can be great, it can be small. Then the second picture you can see, it is vikarma. What is vikarma? It is written over here. Strictly no parking. But they have parked the cars. You do forbidden action. Whatever is told not to do, you will do. That is not recommended. It is done either for self-benefit or to annoy somebody. And the third one is what? It is akarma. Akarma means you work with devotion. You can see in the picture, all are the devotees. They are working in devotion. Akarma means no reaction, without reaction to work. Those who are engaged in this process, they are known to be without any desire for sense gratification, right? So one is karma, one is vikarma, and one is akarma. So you have to remember like that. Person should know what kind of karma he is doing, right? Karma means prescribed duty, pious. And then vikarma means forbidden, and akarma means acting in spirituality. So we can see Raja Rantidev also, he was a karma, and Lord Narada, he was a akarmi. Akarmi means helping other devotees. Raja Rantidev also was a great devotee of Vishnu. And once Shiva and Brahma, they came to test him. He was fasting so long. And then after 48 days, he was going to break his fast. He was going to sit and have food. They came in form of Chandala and kept asking for food. He gave all his food. He was going to drink water. He gave the water also. And at last, they immediately understood that he's a great devotee of Vishnu. He's ready to give away everything. I will tell the story in detail some other time because we are running out of time also now. So karma means pious action. You enjoy and then rebirth. Akarma means inaction, only joy, go to spiritual world. Vikarma means sinful action, you suffer and rebirth. So the life lesson we learn over here is Krishna is not responsible for our situation, right? We only decide what to do. So if, for example, if the rain is falling, rain is same when it falls on the rocks also, ocean also, fertile land also. It is impartial. It will fall everywhere, right? So it's similarly, Krishna is impartial. Whatever we do, we face that. Tadvitti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively. Render service unto him. Self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. We have to approach a bona fide spiritual master. We have to be very humble. If you want to learn something, you have to go to a Shiksha Guru. And if you want Diksha, you have to go to a Diksha Guru. You have to surrender completely, and then the Guru is going to impart the knowledge to you. In this picture, you can see Sandipani Muni, Krishna and Balram are learning from him. Srila Prabhupada over here is giving Diksha. So you have to submit.
Mataji,
If there is a question, can we have it after the class then? Yeah, is it okay?
just a very small doubt. Srila Prabhupada was a very learned soul, right? So then in which type of karma he would be coming in? Like one is where they don't come back to the earth.
Akarma. Definitely akarma.
Okay. Even learned souls have to come back to earth, Mataji, to give us
It is
knowledge.
completely up to them. Even though they are akarma, they sometimes choose to come back on this earth to help other devotees. They only go, they say that we will go back and we will make sure that others are also delivered to Golok Dhama. So they come to help us. Many come to help us. Many great gurus come to help us. They are coming only for the fallen souls. Hare Krishna. Here we have teachers. That is why we have spiritual teachers. They train us in sacrifice. Then there is something called caliber versus character. Caliber develops due to knowledge, and character How to develop the character? By Sankirtan, we do a lot of japa, then control our senses mentally, then surrender to the authority. Intellectually, we surrender to Krishna. And humility and service attitude is very, very important if we are going to serve Krishna, or we have to serve the spiritual master. We have to be very humble, very, very humble, and have that service attitude in our action. Then that develops our character. And the topmost sacrifices, chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, and sense control. Very important. This topmost sacrifice. We chant Hare Krishna and we read Bhagavad Gita, and the sense control is 4 regulative principles of freedom. Like we should not be no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit relationship. We need to have that. Very important. Tasmadajnana sambhutam Sitham jnanasinatmanah chitvainam samchayam yogam atishthotishta bharata. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. So Arjuna was declining to fight, right? So now Krishna is advising him, pick up your weapons, fight. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam, your ajnana, that knowledge, ignorance has gone, right? So born out of ignorance, you're fighting not for your family, you're fighting on my account, right? Therefore, there is nothing to doubt about. No samshayam. Samshayam means doubt. No doubt. Krishna tells him to shed everything, leave everything, get up. Uttishta. Uttishta Bharata. Bharata means Arjuna. Stand up and fight. So in the role of spiritual master of Arjuna, Lord has told his disciple Arjuna, he gave the knowledge, how to gain this wisdom, how to practice Karma Yoga. He now advises to utilize both the wisdom and the faith and remove the doubts from his mind. Then he asks him to, now come on, act. And asking him to get up, fight now. Your duty as a Kshatriya. Come on, do it. So there is a dual instruction again. He's asking him to engage in action, fight. And he says, refrain from action. That is again creating some kind of confusion. Again, is still there in Arjuna's mind. So which he will definitely reveal in the next chapter, which is Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Okay, let's quickly see the review of chapter 4, whatever we have done. So first is eternal education, that who can acquire it? A devotee, a friend, right? Who wants to know something, who is following the instruction. From whom? From parampara, from proper parampara, bona fide parampara. What is it all about? So it is all about when did Lord appear, why did he appear, and what happens when he gives the knowledge. Second is Krishna removes all the misconception, right? And then he removes the reaction by saying karma, what is karma, what is vikarma, and what is akarma. Karma is doing the duty, vikarma is forbidden action, and akarma is no action. Then there is sacrifice. We have caliber versus character, and we have teacher to train in sacrifice. Then topmost sacrifice is what? We have to chant, we have to read Bhagavad Gita, and we have to control our senses. Very important. So Vancha Kalpata Rupasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.